What's up, everybody? Steve, what's up, man? Michael, what's going on, friend? Good to see you. Chad, what's up? What's up? Good to see you all. Happy Thursday. All right, all right. Can give it a few minutes. How's everybody's week going? Kevin, what's going on, man? Good to see you. All right. Get my screens ready. Oop, not yet, not yet. Okay. Week is over. Ed, busy. We made it, Eric. We sure did. Mark, good to see you, man. Missed you on the last call. Good to see you back this week. All right, got a bunch to talk about. If two children barge into my office, my wife is at jiu-jitsu right now, so I'm dadding it up. Kids just got done with wrestling practice, so sorry if they barge in. They shouldn't though, but so it goes. Okay, let's give it 3 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Kind of how we've been structuring these the last probably 6 weeks now is kind of throw some question and answers out there or questions that I've been getting this week. Darla, good to see you. Yes, agreed. I'll throw this up there for Mark. So we've been starting off with just like questions I've been getting from the week. Really only kind of one question this week that I kept on getting. Not kept on getting, but a few times. And then we'll just review some news that's going on just while people are trickling in. And then we're kind of jumping to the meat and potatoes of everything and be on our way and get ready for the weekend. So we'll give it a couple minutes. While we're waiting, swag is starting to trickle in. There's some stuff back ordered, so I'm hoping to get that out soon. But next week, we're going to do a little raffle. I don't, John, what's up, man? Michael, what's going on, my man? How's your knee, bro? So next week, I have a couple of these, but we got a little People Finance Yeti cups. I want to do a little giveaway next week. They sent us a couple extra, which is someone sent them to me. Our lead investor sent me a couple, and yeah, and we got a couple extra ones. So I'll do a little raffle or giveaway next week. Got two of them to give away. So is there a way for us to see the details of various investments in the company, original campaign, ambassador? Yeah, Matt, we'll jump on that. That is one of the common questions I got this week. So we'll go ahead and jump on that. Elmer T. Oh, I busted up, Chad. I busted open Elmer T 3 weeks ago. My brother came into town. He's one of our advisors, but he just graduated EOD school, so he's an EOD Army officer. And anyways, huge. He was away from home for a year, went to EOD school, and so he came through Des Moines on his way home from Florida. And so we busted open Elmer T. Lee. I've been waiting like 2 years to bust it open and smoke some Cohibas to celebrate his accomplishment in his service. But yeah, it was pretty tasty. I don't really want to drink too much more of it just because it's such an expensive bottle. But I found in Austin when I went down to Consensus this last spring for the crypto conference, I found like a pour of Elmer T. Lee at a bar in Austin for like $9. And so I know where it's at. And so I try not to go into my stash too much. But yeah, anyway, so Elmer T, that's where it's at. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Agree with that. Okay, so let's get started, everybody. Matt, we'll go ahead and answer that question. We'll go ahead and do it now. So there's a few things that that we need to clean up towards the end of the year, anyways, because our fiscal year ends December 31st, and so one of those things, not that we have to do it, but it just makes for like cleanliness in our books and like in our internal operations, is to get everybody's notes and whatnot from all the various investments. Right. So there's been WeFunder a couple times. There's been AngelList. There's pre-WeFunder. There's numerous safes, everything like that. There's been a few things, DPAs. And so one of the things that we're working on for the end of the year is to the best way probably is just to email everybody their stuff, because it's so siloed to do it in the app. It's not an impossible task to put it in the app, like all the contracts and whatnot. But for now, when thinking about the allocation of engineering time, it's probably just better to email like the certificates and whatnot. So in saying that, if you invested on WeFunder, your investment is on WeFunder under your profile. So that's A. If you invested on AngelList, your investment is on AngelList, like to track. And then if you invested in a round with us, then I have that those contracts as well if you don't have those anymore. So I would say if you invested in a WeFunder and AngelList, go ahead and check there. And if you can't track those down, I'm happy to help any way I can. Again, we're trying to visualize everybody's shares in the app. But I do know like it's been some people, like, for example, one of the questions I had this week again, and I know we've talked about it now, I think 6 or 7 weeks running, but it's worth saying again because like people don't come to these all the time. If you've asked several times, like, can I see my shares in the app? They're probably there. Now we don't mind getting asked like over and over. But someone kind of read me this week. I'm not going to name names. I don't think they're on this call anyways, but someone read me this week and, said they've been asking for months about their shares. They still don't see them in the app. And he pretty much was like, good luck with everything. I'm just going to count it as a loss. And I was like, oh, that's, I mean, you still have the shares, right? And like, so this is what we've been talking about. But I looked on our end, Carson looked on our end, and they were there. And so I messaged him back and said, hey, try to change the font, something that we've talked about a little bit. And sure enough, like I believe that fixed it. So, and Darla, I know you brought up that in the past, like you didn't see yours, and then you changed the font, and then they showed up. So again, we're trying our absolute best to make sure that everybody's shares are there. Again, I probably will repeat this until everybody does actually know that the shares are with the company. If you ever invested money with us, whether it's WeFunder, AngelList, DPA, whatever it is, like those are yours. Like they've been registered. Like they're your shares. And so whether it's in app or not, I get it. It's nice to see. It's good peace of mind, and we're doing our best to make sure we get that for everybody. But please know that we are trying our best, and changing the font has seemed to work for everybody, as Kevin points out here. So, so Matt, that was a really long-winded, or Matthew, I don't know what you go by, but that was a very long-winded answer to, by the end of the year, by the end of our fiscal, we'll hope to have that cleaned up for everybody to have, either in an email folder or whatnot. Okay. Yeah, as Kevin points out, change your font. It seems to help. Okay, so let's go ahead. I think most people are here. We're 11 past. So if you have any other questions that come up during our talk, please feel free. those that joined in a little bit late, next week we're going to be giving away a couple of these Yeti People Finance. Swag is starting to come in. Eric, good to see you, man. Swag's starting to come in. As soon as the final orders are in, I'll start shipping those out. But I'm going to give away a couple of these Yeti cups next week because they sent us a few extra. But if you guys like them, I can go ahead and put an order and let everybody know how much they cost. But yeah, they're pretty nice. I've been drinking out of it. Someone asked me at the gym today what People Finance is, so it is nice to have. All right, let's rock and roll. Let me share my screen. Okay. Please don't judge me for the graphics. This is kind of the newest mock-up of our app, but I didn't have time to trim out the outside. And just so everyone knows, I'm not fully colorblind, but I am slightly colorblind, and so I think most of you know that. But if the colors look weird, that's because I did it like an hour ago. But anyways, so this is kind of the newest mock-up of the new version 2. And I'll be able to show you guys a few other screens today, and have some news on version 2 at the end of the conversation today. But as always, quick little agenda. We'll run through some crypto news. Swag orders, I kind of mentioned that at the top of the hour, but I'll give you an update on swag orders. We'll talk about the member advisory board, and want to start getting those guidelines rolled out on Monday, but we'll discuss that. And what I would like for those of you, and I think everybody on this call does want a member advisory board, what I would like is during the chat, like while I'm talking, if you can just throw in the chat like things that you either think somebody on the advisory board like should do, like what would that position look like, and what we should expect out of those advisory board members, how we go about making the selection, how many people we should have on it. Again, I want this to be collaborative, so I could of course make all the rules and the guidelines, but that kind of defeats the purpose of even building a member advisory board. So if you guys can, like, what does that person look like, or those people look like? What do we want to, what do we expect out of them? I can record that, make a list, and then generate some OKRs and KPIs out of that as well. So if you guys don't, while I'm talking, if you don't mind just throwing your comments in around specifically what we want our advisory board members to look like, that would be super helpful. We'll run through some app updates, give you a quick update on WeFunder, some Q&As at the end, and then we will call it a night. Okay, so crypto's made it really easy to post on Twitter lately, and that is one of the things that I've not been good at. Is I just don't know what to say on Twitter. And everyone asks me, like, can you just post stuff on Twitter? It's like, I just don't know what to say. Well, it's been really easy lately. And so I have some, you guys know this, but I do have some, not predictions, but some caution out there. And I know you guys know this, but I think it's just worth talking about for the safety of our community. Yeah, just to throw it in the ether, just within our own community. Crypto is not looking good. And again, like, this is why, not that we have a magic ball or anything. But Jason, good to see you, man. This is why 7-8 weeks ago, we decided to maybe pause the brakes, like, on how we interact with crypto moving forward. Not that we're never going to have a token or anything, but how does that look? And I would say in the new era of crypto and blockchain, and that's obviously going to be after the purging that we see right now. Could take a year, could take 6 months, could take 2 years, but there's going to be a massive purging. There's going to most likely, in my hypothesis, quite a bit of regulation, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing, and I don't think necessarily it's the greatest thing. I just think bad actors have ruined crypto and the ethos of crypto for the time being. But I will say I have no money in crypto as of now. Um, I was dollar cost averaging a little bit on Bitcoin. Um, my only thing, and people may disagree with me, that's okay. I don't really care. My only thing is it's not that I don't believe in crypto or Bitcoin or the blockchain. It's I don't trust the people that are allowing us to buy crypto and Bitcoin and ETH and whatnot, namely FTX, Crypto.com, Binance. And so in saying that, I do think there's going to be a lot more pain. For example, yeah, and I'll grab these questions here in a minute, but I'm going to rant for a minute while you guys are thinking of them. I do think there's going to be a lot more pain. Crypto.com, for example, if you guys haven't been following the news, they're obviously tokens down 50% over the last week. They're laying off about half their workforce. And my guess, just basic economics, they probably will have a liquidity issue. There's been rumors about withdrawal issues. All this to say, I think it's okay for us to talk like openly about like erring on the side of caution. There's going to be another run. There's always another run. And so while these liquidity issues and withdrawal issues get worked out, I have moved all my money off of these exchanges. And I'm just waiting for now. So anyways, just wanted to throw that out there. Doesn't look good. I think it's going to get a lot worse. And some of the giants, I think, are going to be crumbling down. And so, yeah, just some caution for our community as we kind of witness the unfolding news. Okay, so let's go back to our agenda. That's an old slide. Okay, let me jump through these questions real quick. A few of them have come in. Again, I don't want to be misunderstood that that I'm anti-Bitcoin or the blockchain. I don't want to be misunderstood on that. I'm just anti what's going on right now. And I don't think we can really trust any of these exchanges or actors at the moment. Should be 7 members from the community, and add your wife as an extra since she's the only one who can keep you in check. That is true. Okay. She's harsh too. So okay, that's great. Yep, 7. I agree with that. 7 or 9. But I do like that. Okay. Who is this? Just so all I see is your handle here. Who are these questions from? Anthony, I have a question. A few months ago during one of the AMAs, you put a dollar value on about $2.50 on a share of Stonks. Where would you put the value of the share of People Finance today? Good question. There's more here. 1 second. Completely off the record, of course. I just kind of want to know where my investment stands today. I'm excited about the future. I think I know who this is. I'm excited about the future. Sorry, I didn't text you back. I know who this is. Of this company. I know where we're going to reach the moon. So glad I decided to invest in this company at such an early stage. Well, thank you. So let me answer this in a couple of ways. The first is when we first started Stonks, now People, we raised at a $10 million valuation. And so just for a high level on the construction of our cap table, we don't have any preferred shares. We have only common shares. We have 10 million. And so we have 10 million shares, common shares. So at a $10 million valuation, it was $1 per share. We built a platform. We got users. And then we went to the market and we raised some more money at 25 million. So at $2.50 per share. So what I will say on that is we're still about like, okay, so here's kind of how startup valuations work. we could easily say, like, with a little over 1,000 traders now, well above mid six figures of assets under management, waitlist continuing to grow for our banking solutions. We could say we have a 200x multiple, right? Like, it's like if we execute on this and we get 15,000 people, 20,000 people using our banking services and our trading services, like we could be a $500 million company. That's how startups kind of value. It's like, it's pre-revenue, it's pre-money. So what I would say, I want to answer this kind of off the record in a way that when we get version 2 out, this is how I'm looking at it. So when we launch WeFunder next week, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a moment. When we launch, we're still raising at a $25 million valuation. I could say, like, oh, our traction, like version 2 is coming out, we can easily raise at a $75 million valuation, where, if we convert 30% of the people on our wait list to our banking solutions. I don't think that's fair to do for a few reasons. One, I still want to invest at a $25 billion valuation instead of a $70 million. And I'll be investing alongside of everybody else that invests in this round, as I did the last round. So that's one. Like, obviously the higher the valuation, the more dilution, because the least amount of shares that can be purchased the next round. So we could easily say, if we convert 30, 40%, there's a $70 million, $80 million valuation based on that. But we're raising a $25 million valuation. So what I will say is, when we raise this round, we get version 2 out, we get our banking products launched, in conjunction with souping up the trading. Android will be out then with the version 2, et cetera, et cetera. We should hit 50, 60, 70 million post money. When version 2 is out, and when we can convert those people over to the banking products. So anyways, that was a long-winded answer of that. It's just hard. It's hard because it's kind of like what we decided is, but it's also strategic in a way because we want to raise money from the crowd and from people. And so if we have a high valuation, then there's a least likelihood of people wanting to invest, just because it's more expensive, right? It's like buying a stock at $1 or $10, or Amazon at $5,000 or Berkshire at $500,000, right? And so we want to keep it low and then execute on our KPIs moving into the new year. Hope that answered your question. A correction is needed. Lots of coins with zero purpose need to go away. Exactly. So yeah, let's circle back to Eric's comment, kind of about my rant on crypto. I talked to one of my buddies who is a serial crypto guy, and him and I were talking this week, and I think one of the next evolutions in blockchain is you don't need a token to have a blockchain company. We know why it's happening, because a lot of people are pumping stuff and rug pulling. It's an easy way to make a quick buck. But to have a blockchain company, you don't have to have a token associated with it. And I think that is something that's going to be interesting moving forward. Is like, for example, our infrastructure is built on AWS's blockchain. Like, it's immutable. It's on the blockchain. We don't have a token for everyone to access it. And so I think that's going to be an interesting thing moving forward. Okay, Jason says a conduit for members to management. Yep, good. Members, like a liaison position, Jason. Members liaise management. Good. That completely agree. Michael says members should be accessible and available for members to contact. Also should have the time to put into understanding their position in the company. 7 to 11. I agree with that. Kind of like office hours for the advisory board. Yeah, I agree with that. What Michael says. I'm going to write this down. Let me ask a question, and obviously not now, but in the future, should this be, because like obviously, like we could have like how a city council position works. Like cycles out every 4 years or 3 years. Should that position be a paid position? Like eventually, not obviously our first member advisory board, but do we think there should be a stipend associated with the member advisory board in the future? I think that's something that I want to obviously discuss this in our first MAB meeting, but yeah, I think that's kind of something, because like credit unions, for example, their volunteer advisory board has a stipend connected with it. And so yeah, so I think if you, yes or no, if you say no, please say why, and if you say yes, please say why. I think there's going to be probably some mixed feelings on that, but I think it should be paid. But I want to get that. Okay, will V2 change the app name to PeopleFi? It should be changed. Let me ask the engineers. That'll be on my asking of the engineering team tomorrow. Here, let me stop sharing my screen real quick and go to my Slack channel. Hold on. Okay, so I don't know where it's at yet. But it might be stuck in production still on the App Store. Here, I'll show you guys real quick. So I was sent this from our engineers a couple days ago. And so it might still be in production. So Chad, I'll get back to the team on that, or I'll get back to everybody, all of us on that when I find out tomorrow from our engineers. But yeah, I'm wondering if it's still stuck in production. Sometimes Apple takes some time to make the change. So I will let you guys know when I hear from them tomorrow. Okay. Advisory member to help customers with issues and questions. One to manage database for members and customers. Okay, that's interesting, Darla. Yeah, so I think what we want to distinguish is, does those advisory members liaison between customers, like has a pulse on customer issues and questions? Like I think that's kind of interesting. I'm glad you brought that up, Darla, because that is an interesting point that I think is very important. Okay, we end hiring? No, we haven't ended. We're just gonna Chad, we're just gonna wait till our WeFunder round is done to do that. So all this new activity that you see is all me. And so just every morning I have about 45 minutes blocked out in my calendar to make some posts. Advisory board members should get paid. More and more credit union boards are paid. Yeah, agreed with Mark. Does PeopleFi have a Slack channel? I mean, we do, like for the team, like the internal team. Happy to bring some people in. If you guys want to be in the Slack channel, just let me know. We don't want it to get like too crowded, right? Because like that's where the engineers and stuff are working, and so we don't want too much conversation, but not too much conversation, too much noise in specific channels, just so the work can get done. But if you guys want like a channel in our Slack channel, happy to make one tomorrow and start inviting everybody to it. That was Kevin's question, by the way. Yes, the time spent working on the board could be spent elsewhere making money. Agreed. Yep. Paid board position. Okay, this seems overwhelming. Paid now, paid later, whatever. You get better talent when you pay. People feel more obligated. Okay. Yep. This is great. I don't think you answered question about the value of the stock today. I think we should. Steve, this might have came later after I. Steve says I didn't. Well, it's still 25 million, so it's still $2.50. And the reason for that is so the valuation stays low, so that we can have people invest at a lower dollar amount, right? Instead of like $7 a share or $8 a share. And then once we launch version 2 with the banking products and services, we convert our wait list, our banking product wait list, then we should see that that valuation go up 4 or 5x. I think we should opt in for the piggybacking off another credit union. Agreed. That's what we're working on. So I have some news on that front. Got to run. Appreciate what you're doing. Thanks, Chad. Have a good night, man. We'll talk soon. Okay, so let me keep finding away the questions. I agree with everybody on the advisory board. We can obviously work on what the KPI structure would look like. So key performance indicators and OKRs, objective and key results. So this is good. I can work on that and I'll present them next week, and then we can agree on kind of what that person looks like, and then be good to go. Let me know if you guys want in the Slack channel. I can make a channel for our team in our internal Slack channel if you guys want access to that. Okay, so let's talk credit union since it's coming up. So I have a call next week with that consultant that we talked about last week. She was super busy this week, and so we had to push to next week. But things are looking good there. I have a few more intros to CEOs of credit unions, and so got some stuff cooking. Kevin last week made a comment about Kevin. I'm not putting you on the spot at all, but made a comment of like, are there products that we can get out today while we're working on getting the credit union stuff going? And the answer is yes. And so it just depends on what types of products that we want to roll out. And so, for example, we have, a banking as a service provider, which is like a middleware component, kind of like the infrastructure of like how a bank or how a fintech would connect to a bank, I guess is kind of a simple way to put it, has been like talking to me like every week, like emailing me 3 or 4 times a week for the last like 4 months about like we could get like credit products out the door, right? Like they have underwriting and we have like a debt partner. Like if we wanted like a debt partner to fund like credit products, we could get that stuff out the door. And we can roll that out with version 2 of the app. And so what that would provide as well is version 2 is going to have Android and the iOS, and the source code's already done. And so we just have to throw on a new UI UX for version 2. And so the source code's been built. It's been coded already by the engineers. And so we could launch products like that while we're, finding the right credit union to green label and partner with and getting our CDFI certifications and whatnot. But yeah, so I something that like, I think, if that's, I kind of thought about what Kevin had said over the weekend and over this week of like, yeah, we could structure some products that would work in tandem with our trading application, and then sign up a lot more people with credit products while we're working on the banking side of things. So anyways, love to hear your thoughts. Maybe that's something we can get going in the Slack channel, since there's quite a few people that would want to be in the Slack channel. But yeah, so I think we can start brainstorming, whiteboarding that. This would be a lot easier too for those that want to be in the Slack channel and have time for like more collaborative Zoom sessions. I would welcome that, because it's one thing like talking to a screen and to a camera and trying to read your guys' messages, but then obviously if we can collaborate on some of these ideas, then maybe people, we could collaborate and try to figure out what we want to do on that front. But yeah, so anyways, we can roll out some products while we're figuring out the credit union stuff. Yeah, so I think it's something we should collaborate on in Slack. So I'll get people in there tomorrow morning. Okay, so WeFunder. Let me run through WeFunder real quick. So we were set to launch, and then WeFunder, now let's see, this would be yesterday, sent me a 5-page document on reconciling our former Form C with our financials with this new Form C. Eric, I'll answer that in a sec. So for the last 2 weeks, we've been ready on our side, and then they just got around to saying you need to reconcile this. So pretty much all day, and a lot of last night, that's why these bags are getting crazy. I spent reconciling with our audit and everything. And so that should be done tomorrow. And then that should be the last compliance piece. And then we can get that out the door. So, yep, a lot of stuff, a lot of paperwork for the SEC. And so it's going to be nice when this is done. But then we will be good to go on that front. Eric says, I missed out on the swag. Will there be another opportunity to order? Yeah, Eric, there will be another opportunity to order, another order form circulating next week. Yeah, so no problem. Also, we're going to give one of these away next week, or two of them. So I'll figure out a good something. I don't know. We'll just probably do a random person, but a random drawing. Okay, so that is that's the updates from me. There's going to be a lot more credit union stuff next week, like a lot more conversations. And so I should have some good data points for the team next week to talk about, but that is progressing. Something that we at least should be aware of, and this is just speculation. It may not be like this. So just use that as a preface. Credit unions seem to not move as fast as fintechs. And so how long until you're out of money if there's I'll answer that in a sec. So on the credit union side, I don't think they move as fast as fintechs. And so we could be ready to go, but a credit union could be like not ready to go. Right. And so in theory, like this stuff should move fast and agile. But I don't know what like working with a credit union and their processes and bureaucracy looks like. And so just to preface, it could be really fast. It could be a slow burn. I don't really know. I just know that it's moving forward. So Mark says, how long until you're out of money if there's if there is WeFunder raise? Oh, if there's no refund away. Okay, yeah. Like 6 months if we don't make any more money. And that's with having everything built. And so really WeFunder, and you'll see this in our disclosures on the next WeFunder raise. A lot of this money from WeFunder is going towards marketing. That's pretty much it. So like I have a call with a company called Civo tomorrow where it's they do like debt as a service, but essentially like if we launch a credit product, they would be the funds for that credit. Right. And so so there's other avenues for how we get those products funded where we don't have, dilute and give up equity to a VC to be able to get those products funded. But yeah, so a lot of this WeFunder raise is going to getting 40,000 people on our platform. So, okay, if I win the raffle for one of the cups, I'll consider selling it for $500. Yeah, because it's gonna be like an NFT. You know what? This is a modern day NFT. Take a look here, folks. You saw the real life NFT that Ed's gonna raffle off for $500 when he wins. Do we have top 3 potential credit unions that we may piggyback with People Finance? Not yet, but I will be presented with those next week when I reconnect with our consultant on that. Yeah, so there's a lot of credit unions. I don't have any. I haven't talked to anyone specifically yet. I was waiting for our connection to help out with those introductions. So, okay. Are there any other questions? I am really excited for you guys to get in our Slack channel. It'll be a lot easier to communicate because I'm on it all the time. And so I will get that built. I'm assuming there's gonna be more people that want in when that's done and people hear about it, so that's fine. But I'm excited for you guys to get in. So are there any other questions that we should discuss tonight? When, if any, will there be an AMA next week? Turkey Day. Oh, Turkey Day. My goodness. That is a good question. Well, I'll be at my in-laws, so I could probably do them there. Let me think about it. If we don't do one, I'll do a video. I'll do a video update on that and at least give some updates there. But I did forget until just now. Thank you, Michael. That is Turkey Day next week. So yeah, if we don't do one next week, I'll do a video just to keep everybody in the loop. And it's gonna be a short week next week. So if that works for everyone, or we can do one if you guys want to escape your family. So however you want to do it. Can we find a cheat sheet on what boards for other credit unions do? Yeah, I kind of already have a beat on that. So V2 you said would be built once we are a credit union, but the backend is built already. Okay, yeah, so let me talk about this. This is a great question. So there's a difference between the V2 of the app and then what we plug into that app. So let me explain. So we have what's called a customer-centric core. That's our infrastructure that for the last year-ish, the engineers have been building. What that does is it allows for us to plug in SDKs and APIs. And so it works very seamlessly, and we built it for agility. So the backend infrastructure took a little bit longer than it should have because of how we thought about building it for the long term. Meaning we can have Alpaca, which is our broker dealer, and we could have, let's say, Evolve Bank and Trust that issues a credit card. And then we have a credit union that has the checking accounts and the savings accounts and car loans and home mortgages. But it's centered around the customer-centric core, right? The infrastructure. And then the version 2 facelift is the UI UX. So how people interact with the app. And then we can have rollouts without changing the infrastructure of the application, if that makes sense. So at least that's the best way I can explain it. So the infrastructure has been worked on a lot. The UI UX is being developed right now. And those are some of the screens and stuff I showed you guys. And then we can plug stuff in because of how we built the infrastructure, the version 2 rollout of the infrastructure. So anyways, I hope that clarified a little bit. Will OGs get best rates in top priority for loans? Okay, so this is a great question, and I don't think that's legal. So, and I don't know yet. But Mike, who's our lead investor, and one of our advisors, he is licensed in 32 states for lending products. And from my understanding of what he explained to me, and I could talk to him about this more, but you can't have a friends and family deal on interest rates and then everybody else that goes against consumer protection and stuff, I guess. So as much as that would be dope, I don't know if it's legal. So it's something that we can clarify, but I don't want to go to prison or get shut down. So something that our compliance team will probably help out with that quite a bit. Eric Key is speaking about an advisor for credit. Okay, yep. Okay, cool. This we need to do some of this on Zoom because it'd be a lot easier if we can all talk. So let me get Slack up tomorrow morning. I have your guys' emails. If you don't see an invite by, let's say, midday Central Standard Time tomorrow, just shoot me a text and with your email, and I might have missed it. But I should get majority of people in there tomorrow. And then if you don't see it, midday CST, shoot me a ping and I'll get you in there. Cool. Well, I got to run. I got to go cook dinner. But appreciate the time, everybody. And we make progress and we keep plugging away. And it's going to be a fun late Q4 into Q1 with some of the products that we roll out. And I'm really, really excited for this member advisory board. So really appreciate you guys taking the time every Thursday night to chat. And we'll keep it going. We'll keep plugging away and build $1 billion company together. Have a great night, everybody. Let me know if you need anything. Take care. Peace out.